It's time for tea. It's time for tea with Lee. It's time for tea. Time for tea with Lee.
Well, hello there, podcast family. It's me, Lee, your cruise director, back with another episode of Tea with Lee. Now, today we're back to our usual format. I'm catching up with a member of our Carnival family. Today, I'm connecting with Marty Andrews, a brilliant cruise director that I've had the pleasure of working with on board our ships a handful of times. But being a cruise director, there's only one of us on a ship at a time, so he is currently carving his own path through the Carnival Cruise Line fleet. Maybe you've cruised with him, maybe you haven't. What I want to do today is introduce those of you that don't know Marty. We'll get to know him a little bit better, and if you would like to connect with him on social media and all that good stuff, I would definitely encourage you to do so. With these interviews and catch-ups, what I'm really wanting to do is spread the love and connect us all a little more. Maybe you've sailed with me and you want to know who else is out there. Well, Marty, if he pops up on one of your cruises in the future, you are guaranteed to have a great time. You'll be in safe hands. Before we get the show on the road, I do have our disclaimer. Here we go. All views and opinions expressed in this show are mine and Marty's alone. They do not necessarily reflect those of our employer. So this is me and him, nothing to do with Carnival, just two friends catching up. And of course, you're a fly on the wall. Okay, so with that fun stuff out of the way, it is time to jump over to my catch-up call with Marty Andrews, Carnival Cruise Line Cruise Director. Let's go. Marty, how you doing?
Lee, so good to hear from you.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Fantastic. It's a crazy year, right?
It has been very, very crazy. It's been a long time since we've caught up, actually, as well. But who would have known what would have happened this year, right?
Absolute madness. Now, I realize that I've invited you onto the podcast, and maybe some of the people listening to this show, they haven't met you, or they don't know who you are or what you do. So do you mind if I have like a serious radio presenter interview with you to find out more about Marty Andrews?
All right, sounds good. Of course, let's do it.
Okay. Before we go any further, folks, because this is, of course, like an audio production and you can't see him, I do need to let you know that Marty is like a spitting image of David Beckham. So if you've got a picture in your brain of what this guy looks like, Google David Beckham, look at his face, and you've more or less got Marty Andrews right in front of you. So, Martin. Oh, I just gave away your legal name, Marty.
I don't think anybody would have guessed that from the shortness of that name, Marty, Martin. You know, it's not very disguising, is it?
No, it's because when I worked with you for the first time, you were Martin, and Marty is. I like Marty, I really do. I think it's fun, it's friendly, it's got a certain warmth to it. Rather than Martin feels very formal.
It happened by accident, you know, as well. I was actually joining a ship when I was back at Fun Squad. And before I joined the ship, I looked everywhere. I could not find my name tags. As we do on vacation, you have to take your name tags home, bring them to the next ship. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to have a name tag on my first day. You can get in trouble, right? For not having a name tag on board.
Yeah.
So I emailed them. I'm joining the ship in Australia. And my email address, I can't give it away, but it starts with Marty instead of Martin. So when I requested a new name tag, they assumed I went by Marty. And then when I joined my next ship, everybody knew me as Marty. And everybody, like you, what happened to Martin? Well, that's gone now.
Martin's gone. He left the company. No, I like Marty, and I really do. I think it's got a real friendly air to it. My name, I can't shorten it anymore. You know what I mean? I can't have a nickname. I'm just Lee. Man.
Yeah, but Lee's a pretty cool name anyway as well. I like Lee. I feel like, I don't know, Marty and Martin is not too much difference, but I think because of like the films Back to the Future, like Marty McFly, like it's serious. It's got more of a ring to it, and I quite like it as well. I feel cool by going by Marty, so I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, man, I love it. You know, some of our guests get confused with me when I say, Lee, your cruise director, fast. If I'm not wanting to take too long on the PA system, I'll just be like, hang on, I think I've got the sound effect somewhere. No, I don't. That's disappointing. No, I do. And I say, well, good evening, Carnival Splendor family. This is Lee, your cruise director. People think I'm called Leo. Leo, cruise director. There's people that are like, oh, Leo, how you doing? I haven't got the heart to tell them that's not my name. It's tough.
You've just got to go with it. Whatever they hear is right. I've been called Mike before. I'm like, how did you get Mike? just hearing that buzzer that you just did there, that was quite surreal for me. I've not heard that since March. That ding. Can you do it one more time for me?
Absolutely, man. Is that nostalgic for you? Is it taking you back?
You take a deep breath and then you start. It's just like,
you know something?
It's crazy.
I'll never forget my first announcement on a Carnival ship. I was on the Carnival Valor, and I was really worried about taking over. A lot of pressure, brand new to the company, brand new to the ship. And I was getting all of my notes and everything together that I took with me. And it was safety briefing time. And I ran up the stairs to go to the bridge, walked onto the bridge, and the captain was like, we need to get going. We need to start because, I want to pull out on time. And I'd ran up the stairs and I was out of breath, and I'll never forget pressing the button. I'm going to do the sound one more time. It was like this.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on board. I must have sounded, because I was absolutely winded and super nervous at the same time. It must have just been terrible, like a prank call, just someone being on the phone going.
Do you know what? I've been in that exact same situation, and what can you do? You've got to try and be professional, but we're human beings. We need to breathe.
Yeah.
So I've had to. There's been a couple of times, but only very rarely, because I try and make sure when we do it, you try and be relaxed, of course. And obviously, usually it's a planned announcement. You know what time it's going to be. But when you have to make a sudden announcement, all of a sudden, you could be anywhere on the ship. You got to run. You got to try and run past this, and people see you. They're like, Marty, or Lee, and you're like, 1 second, I'll be back. Little do they know you're about to do an announcement. Oh, it can be times where you get there and you have to try and take a deep breath. But when the captain's telling you to go, you got to go, right?
You just got to go. But yeah, if anyone's listening, maybe we've got Fun Squad hosts listening, or people that work in a job in a supermarket or wherever where they use a public address system, I would 100% say, make sure you can breathe before you press that button to talk.
Absolutely. And talking about Fun Squad listening as well, they can tell because they listen to the announcers when they host their trivia. Mm-hmm. And because they know what their announcements are usually like, they'll ring you up. You okay? I just have to
Absolutely. Or if you say something wrong, whenever I'd say something wrong, whether it was Fun Squads or musicians or anybody on the entertainment team, if they had me on Facebook, I'd say something, maybe make a little bit of a flub and think I'd got away with it, or stumble on a word, and all of a sudden it's like in your pocket, someone taking the mickey out of you, another person taking the mickey out of you.
But what you hope is that, nobody catched it. But in reality, the few thousand people that are listening to the announcement, did he just say that? And then they ask you about it later on. No, I didn't say that. No, you must have misheard.
Yeah, ridiculous. Right, I got sidetracked because I outed your real name, but we'll call you Marty from here in. Everybody listening, forget that I called him Martin. That's not his name. He is Marty.
It's okay, Lee. We're all friends catching up. I did love your description of the David Beckham lookalike. I'll take that. I'm currently going through a bit of a phase right now. I'm doing the old Movember. Have you ever done the Movember where you just grow the moustache for November?
Mate, I've got 3 hairs that grow on my top lip.
three hairs that grow. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Lee. But your hair grows quick on top. I remember when you went bald for a while.
Yeah, my hair on top grows super fast, but I guess I'm just not manly enough for a mustache.
Oh.
It's all right, it happens.
Oh, sorry.
So, Marty, tell us, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
So, I am from England, if you can tell from the accent. I'm from the south of England, just south of London, about an hour south, in a place called Brighton, right by the seafront. Yeah,
it's
Sussex by the sea.
So funny because I was talking to you on Messenger the other day and you were saying about Brighton. I was like, oh, that's nice. He's gone to Brighton for a little holiday, because I just ignorantly presumed that you were from London.
Well, that's the thing, is that Brighton is quite a tourist destination. A lot of, I think in America, they'd probably know it as Brighton is in Sussex, and obviously Sussex, the royal family, is quite big links, right? With obviously Prince Harry and Meghan. So that's where I stay now. I'm from Sussex, but Brighton, yeah, that's the big town where I'm from, and I'm very fortunate. I love it. Like when I tell people like yourself, you're like, oh, cool, you're visiting Brighton for a day, but no, I'm lucky enough to live right here. Yeah, I've grown up here all my life.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So while we've been paused for this whole 2020 nobody's allowed to cruise situation, how's life been in Brighton? Have you been all right? What have you been up to?
We've been very fortunate in terms of when they started putting the little restrictions into different places in England, depending on where's high the COVID cases. Brighton was always very low. So for the majority of the time, Brighton was up and running. Of course, in terms of up and running, not everything's been going. A lot of businesses have closed down. Yeah. But the biggest thing about Brighton, and the biggest perk, is in the summer when we have them few days of sunshine. Doesn't happen very often in the UK. No. As you know. But when it does, everybody loves to go down the seafront, go to some of the bars and restaurants there. Even if you're having a coffee, be by the sea. It's lovely. And we, luckily enough, were able to do that again this summer. So it was great.
Oh, nice. And it's good to be home, right? It's nice to actually get time with family. I'm always away so much that's been the huge bonus. I know it's been a really tough time for a lot of people, and there's been people getting sick all over the world. But for me, one of the kind of like little victories that I can pull from this year is that I've had so much quality time with my mum and getting to see my nana and stuff.
Well, that is what is hard about our job. People ask us, well, yes, we love to travel. We love our jobs. We love everything about it while we're on board. But being away from family and friends is tough. And like you said, not being home very often. I think in my 6 years of Carnival, I've been to Carnival 6 years now. Wow. Yeah. And I feel like the longest I've been home back in the UK in one stint is 6 weeks maximum before this. So for me to be home for going on 7 months now, has been nice to catch up with everyone. Originally, when you first get home and your family, your friends, and you catch up, and you're like, yeah, great, yeah, this is nice to see you all, and then 7 months go by. Yeah, I'm ready to go back now, Lee.
Yeah, and you know what? My mum is ready for me to go as well now. I can tell from a place of love and support, but she's like, you know, when the phone rings, you've got to go, son. I'm like, all right, push me out the door, Mum.
Yeah, all right, Mum. You liked having me home. That's what they tell you. But really, they're like, when's it going to bags again?
Now, you said you've been home.
But, You're back with Mum at the moment.
Yeah, I'm at my mum's house. I'm so lucky to be able to come back to my family home, because I realize that we've got a lot of team members, you know, fellow cruise directors, the works from right up and down the departments on the ship, that have maybe got their own houses that they're paying a mortgage on, or families to support. And I'm so lucky, upon reflection, that I just haven't got any huge bills to commit to, or I don't have people that are relying on me making ends meet. So yeah, I'm really lucky that I got to come home. How about you?
I know that is nice, and me too. I'm in a similar situation as well. My two brothers have got their own places now, so they've moved out. So leaves a lot of space for me to come home and live with Mum and Dad for the time being. They put up with me while I'm home, so that's nice of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the point, and I know you were in a similar place yourself. I was at the point where I was like, you know what, next step for me is probably maybe buying somewhere, and investing in property to more than likely rent it out, because we're away so much, but just to have somewhere. But right now, I just feel like I'm kind of lucky that I hadn't made that step, because it's just another commitment, something else to worry about, right?
Exactly the same situation here. If things were running normally, this was supposed to be the time for me as well, where I was looking to invest in a property, looking around at different properties around the place. I've never known where I wanted to settle down, so it wouldn't maybe be the home that I live in. But it's been tricky, and normally we don't have that long at home to be able to have enough time to get it done. Yeah. This time we've had enough time at home, but it's not the right situation right now, like you said.
No, definitely not. You know, funny enough, when you said about not knowing where to settle, I think that's one of the hardest things from like traveling and seeing the world, that your eyes are open so wide to possibilities and opportunities and stuff like that, that all of a sudden, and it's not that you don't want to go home. My hometown, it's always going to be home for me. But when I think about settling down, having seen so much of the world, I'm like, is this where I'm going to like make my forever life? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Being back home, this is where I went to school, this is where I went to college. Obviously, still got friends here. They're all having kids, they're all getting married, they're always saying, Marty, when's your turn? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? And then they're reminded very quickly that, oh no, did you hear what I was doing last week? I was in the Caribbean on the Carnival Pride.
Yeah.
So and they're like, oh yeah, take your time. Don't rush into it.
My mum watches all of these like TV shows, A Place in the Sun and stuff like that. And my mum is, I guess she's on my wavelength of just like daydreaming about what could be. She's like, you need to buy a house in Florida, son. She's like, don't buy a house in Barrow. Go get a house in Florida. Or why don't you move to, it's a little harder now with Europe and Brexit and all that stuff, which we won't get into. But yeah, my mum was like, I would have said get a house in Spain, but that might be difficult now. Go move to Florida. That's where the cruise ships go from anyway.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I would love to move to Florida, or one of them where the sun shines all year round.
Yeah, I just worry about that as well. Like, it's not easy, like, I suppose, buying a house in your own country, never mind buying one in a different country. But if we do have anybody that's like a realtor or deals with houses and stuff, and you can give me some advice, get in touch and let me know if I can buy a house in Florida. I'd love it. Martin wants one as well.
Yeah, Lee, you pass on that information. Maybe we can go in halves and we get a place in Florida.
Absolutely. Or we could get like a buy one, get one free deal. We could be neighbors.
If someone does that deal, please get in touch.
Yeah. So, Martin, you were just saying you just come off the Carnival Pride, and I think you had a different experience to me with this whole 2020 situation, because I was on the Carnival Glory and I got off on the 1st of March, just before all of the restrictions and everything came in place, whereas you were over on the Pride And Baltimore was one of the first ports to start restricting, right? Well, hello there, family. Just pausing for a quick commercial break. As of yet, I haven't quite hit the big time, so there's no fancy sponsor involved with today's show. That means this ad spot belongs to me. Yeah. You may already be aware, but if you're not, I've got a t-shirt store online. You can find it at leeyourcruisedirector.tmail.com. That's leeyourcruisedirector.tmail.com. You can get the official Tea with Lee podcast merchandise, as well as lots of other Lee Your Cruise Director items. If you're not already connected with me on social media, I'd love for you to check out my Facebook page. All you have to do is search Lee Your Cruise Director or type in facebook.com/Lee Your Cruise Director, all one word, and it'll pull the page up automatically for you. I'm also on Instagram. You've guessed it, it's Lee Your Cruise Director on Instagram as well. So I'd love for you to check out the t-shirt store, the Facebook page, and the Instagram page. And I am just so delighted to have you listening. Okay, back on with the show.
Yes. In fact, I think we were the first ship to find out that we were going to be stopping. Mm-hmm. We were in the Bahamas mid-cruise. I was been on the Pride for a few months, actually. I just got there. I was settling in nicely. And we was on the cruise, mid-cruise in the Bahamas, and somebody came up to me and they said, "Oh, you see the announcement about cruising?" And obviously I'd been off the ship for the day, but then I got back on board and all news travels very quickly. Captain, hotel director, we had a meeting and we did find out that we were going to be stopping cruising from Baltimore. Luckily, our cruise wasn't affected at the time. We managed to have a great cruise. We managed to get everybody back safely, got everybody off the ship. But after that, I think we was the first ship to have no passengers. And it was almost like, well, okay, like we hopefully, fingers crossed, a couple of weeks, and then we'll be able to sail again. Little did we know that would be the last cruise of the year.
That's mad. It's mad. So what did you do? I mean, I get that you were on board for quite a while without guests. So how did you fill your time? What did the company get you to do and stuff?
Well, we'd already started implementing different safety protocols on board, lots of sanitizer everywhere. I'm sure you can remember on the Glory, right? So obviously coronavirus is we already knew about it and everybody on board had heard the news and everybody was being extra careful already. But when the passengers got up, it was just crew. We continued to follow the protocols that were going in the news as well, social distancing. But at the time, when we stopped, we were hopeful that it would only be a couple of weeks, right? The first announcement only stopped cruising for a couple of weeks. And we took the time to do training together. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we'd been working together for a few months as well. So we were doing training to try and make the shows extra spectacular. Oh. Just like touch up on little things that we've been wanting to do, but we hadn't had the time to do, you know? Yeah. And we had all this time. And if anything, we were ready to go. We had practiced every single event. Like my fun squad, they can tell you, I think you're friends with some of them as well. Like we were so looking forward to getting going again.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant. I know we can't change what's happened, but can you imagine if it was just like a case of, we're going to stop for a little while, clean the ship, make sure everyone's safe, let's go. Your guests would have had such an incredible time with everything so polished and practiced. Yeah.
Well, because our job as well, a lot of guests don't realize that the cruising is 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. When they debark, the next guest embark the same day. We don't have a couple of days to turn everything around. New crew members will sign off every cruise. Crew members will sign on. You can lose team members every cruise, bring them on, and you need to make sure everybody has that training. Everybody's at the same level, and to have a few weeks to be with everyone and to work through stuff. it was good for team building as well for us. Like we got so strong as a team. It was just a shame we never be able to put it into practice. But we was at sea for a month actually. But for the whole of March, we just sailed in out of the seas. I think we were close to Miami is where we finally got off, away from Baltimore. And then I was lucky enough to be able to get a flight home because obviously travel, was stopping as well.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of crew that it took them a long time to get home, and that wasn't Carnival's fault. That was with the different governments saying, you can land here from that country, or you can't land here from that country. It must have been a nightmare. I'm glad that I wasn't involved in the I don't work for Miami. I'm not smart enough to work for head office, because I would have not wanted to have to deal with that massive Rubik's Cube of moving parts and getting people home. Incredible at the
I mean, what a fantastic job they did. And the HR team on board, wow, like they looked after us massively to the point where we got to the airport. I mean, when I looked at the flights departing, and there was only about 6 flights departing, all the rest said cancelled over the 3 or 4 boards. Miami being a massive international airport, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
The fact that they got you on a flight and got you home, I mean, incredible. Right, let me. Oh, mood music. I'm taking you back in time, Martin. Can you tell us about
that music.
Your career? How did things start with Carnival? Take us back. You started when? How many years ago?
This music is perfect. All right, let me cast my memory back. No, I started 6 years ago, actually. I started my job with Carnival. I started very differently to most. I was never supposed to be on stage.
What?
Hosting on a microphone. That's not what I applied for. I started Carnival when I applied for my first job. I actually met someone at a summer camp that I worked in America. I worked in Pennsylvania. And one of the guys I got friends with there, he worked for Carnival. And he was talking to me about cruise ships and how much he loves his job. I said, wow, that's amazing. I said, and I didn't really know much at the time. Cruising in England, if someone says they're going on a cruise, you just think, wow, good on you.
Yeah.
I've never been on a cruise myself, never thought about working on a cruise. Wow. And then he said, well, we have sports positions on board. I said, sports on a cruise ship? How can you do sports on a cruise ship? And then I applied to be sports staff because some of the newer ships, I think there's about 6 or 7 ships that now have the sky course and have a mini basketball court.
Yeah.
And they do sports tournaments on there. So I said, that sounds amazing. And I applied to be sports staff on my first, and that's what I got. That's what I got hired for.
Wow.
And I'll never forget this because, it was crazy. I don't think I never told many people this story. And when I went for the interview, there was about 30 people in the room, and they were hiring for both fun squad, it was called entertainment staff in that day, and sports staff. I was the only person there for sports staff. The rest of the room must have been about 30 people were there for entertainment staff. So they were doing all these group interview type things, acting out different scenes, everybody, trying to show their personality off. And I'm there looking around, what is going on? what I can't believe what. I'm only going for a sports position. Where's the football? Where's the basketball? I can show you what I can do. I said, what have I got to act out for? And then when I had the one-to-one interview, that's when they told me. They said, no, don't worry. And then when I got on board, it took an even weirder twist for me. I got my medical, my visa, and it was through a transition phase where entertainment staff, they decided then sports staff wouldn't be a sole position on its own. It's come back now.
Yeah.
But at the time when I started, they decided to make sports staff and entertainment staff just one. So I got an email 2 weeks before my sign-on date on my first ship, and they said, Martin, they said Martin back in the day because I was a Martin. They said, we know that you've got the job of sports staff and you're signing on in 2 weeks. We still want to give you this job. We still but you're going to be not just sports stuff, you're going to be entertainment stuff. So you're going to be doing a bit of both. Don't worry, we'll help you, we'll train you on the microphone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just this big email saying like, but we still believe in you, we still want to give you the opportunity. And I'm there reading this, thinking, I've got a host on stage. I can't believe that. Like, and then I spoke to my family and I said to everybody, look, I've already got my visa, I've got my medical. Why not? What have I got to lose, right?
Yeah.
So I flew out there, joined my first ship, and I'll never forget. They gave me my entertainment staff uniform. They said, look, just settle in. You've had a long flight. Go and have a sleep, and then meet us up on the Lido deck at 3:00. The team will be up there. We'll meet up there, and don't worry, we'll show you the ropes. You know what happens at 3:00 after the safety briefing, right, Lee?
Absolutely. You were thrown into a sail away party, right?
That was my first thing that I had to do. I get straight out there. They start playing the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, the wobble. I have no idea what these dances are. I get back inside afterwards. The cruise director gives me a high five, and they said, now you're part of the team. They said, you done great out there. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And then from that moment onwards, they trained me up, and look at me now that I've become a cruise director. I mean, it was always a dream for me to be on stage. I used to take part in the school plays, and I've always wanted to be like an actor as well. And then getting the chance on Carnival to get on the microphone and have a go at the trivias, the games, and work my way up to bingo, comedy, and then cruise director. It's like a dream come true, really. I just never signed up for it.
Mate, that's brilliant. It was like they lured you in with a football. They were like, come on, Martin, come on. You can play spots. Now you're a host and a cruise director. Ha-ha. That's an awesome journey.
Well, yeah, it got to a point where I was lucky enough to be selected to be, when they brought sports staff back,
mm-hmm.
they gave me the option to be sports staff on the Vista, the Carnival Vista, when it was a brand new ship in Europe.
Wow.
I can't turn that down, right? Being on the inaugural team, bringing a ship out of Europe, and the job that I originally wanted, of course I've got to give it a go. So I took the job in Europe. I went there to be sports staff. And the craziest thing happened while I was there. Of course, I loved it, being on the new ship and bringing out, seeing this amazing, all the features, the sky ride, the sky course, being part of an amazing team. But I missed hosting so much that summer that after thinking for years, do you know what? Like, I want to be sports staff. Yeah, that's the job that I've always wanted. I'm from a sports background. I think that would be more me. Even though I loved hosting, I just wanted to give it a go because otherwise I'd never have known, right? And after going there, doing sports staff for the summer, I've not looked back. I was like, look, give me a microphone again. I was even asking the cruise director on the Vista, who was a good friend of mine. I said, look, can I host anything in the evenings when I'm not on the sports? But I was doing a few bits of karaoke and stuff. Yeah, it's just a crazy journey, isn't it? But that's what's great. Once you're in, like we've had bartenders, like John Hill, like bartender, and then became a cruise director, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what position you are. If once you're in, you can do the training, and if you've got the right personality, the right fit, you can get there.
Absolutely.
With the right attitude.
Absolutely. I mean, Nono, you worked with Nono on the Vista. Nono came from the youth team, right?
Good friend.
She was started out on the youth team with the kids.
Yes.
And now
the personality you have to have there as well. But the personality, like our youth team and entertainment work very closely together. But Nono, what a personality she has on there. And I saw her progression as well through the Vista. Worked with her as a host on a few ships as well.
Yeah.
Now cruise director. It's crazy how many of us cruise directors are now have all grown through the company together. You know.
Yeah. I see it as well. I mean, I've only been with Carnival for all of four and a bit years now. But even when I started, I think I came in just as if we referred to you as like a class, like a graduation class of hosts. Because I worked with you for like one cruise when you were a host.
So yeah, you went to Australia on the Legend to hand over, and I remember meeting you and speaking to you, and I was like, I'm upset because I don't get to work with you because I leave this cruise and you take over at the end of the cruise as well. So it was your handover week. And that was our first interaction together. But we've remained friends since.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, all the hosts from that day, like, are now becoming cruise directors.
Yeah, and it's great. I can't say that I had a hand in anybody's development because you'd all been working so hard before I joined the company and you got to where you did based on your hard work. But it's so special to be able to be like, oh, I remember when, like, Cookie was my comedy club host or Gary was my bingo host, and stuff like that. And now to see all of these cruise directors absolutely smashing it and just knowing them when they were hosts, so ready to step up and just waiting for an opportunity. Because ultimately that's what it was. When you were there for that one cruise, people had said, oh, Martin, because you were still Martin then, Martin's great. Martin's great. It's just about opportunity and committing to riding it out until the door opens, and you did. Boom. And now you're cruise director. So can you tell us about you getting your final promotion and stepping up to be cruise director? Because that must have been a big deal for you, right?
It was incredible. It was a moment that I'd waited for and worked so hard to get. When it finally, the occasion happened, they made the announcement, I was over the moon, and my family could see, because they had known how much time I'd invested into it, in terms of I was cutting my vacations even shorter to get back out there. I was stopping. I didn't go out and port much anymore. I would spend extra time doing training with the cruise director on board, entertainment director, to get there. But the other thing for me, like you said, some of the names that you just dropped were all team members that I'm friends with and I've grown up with, and it's so great to see them doing well. But at the same time, we all grew up together. So when one of us gets promoted, you're so happy for them, and then you're like, okay, like, it's happening. People are getting the opportunities, and then you just got to wait for your opportunity. And then when it happens, then you got to take it, right? And like, you're the one person, cruise director's one position on board. Entertainment staff, fun squad can be 5 or 6 of you.
Yeah.
And there was a time where the names that you just mentioned, 4 or 5 of us could have been on the same ship together. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking, oh, the cruise director gets sick or it can't do his job. If it does happen, which doesn't happen very rarely it happens, if somebody gets the opportunity to cover, there might be 4 or 5 or 6 of you trying to get that opportunity as well.
Yeah, waiting in line. But I think that there's a really valuable lesson there that I'm learning more and more. I mean, every day is a school day, right? We're always learning. But about that mutual support and that mutual respect of each other, you can either aggressively compete. And I suppose some people have a competitive nature naturally.
Yes.
And ambition and stuff like that contribute. But ultimately, when you boil it down, whether it's hosts in a fun squad and cheering on, like you say, cheering on someone who gets an opportunity because that means it's possible, and there's a chance that you're the next one. And with us as cruise directors now, standalone positions, it's very easy to be perceived as in competition with each other, when really we're not. We're like a network, a little family. We're so alone. We're little islands that we need to rely on each other for support, and that's why I love that we've stayed in touch. It's huge.
Well, that's the thing. Like you said, it can be seen as a competition, but it's not, because at the end, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people vying for the same position, there might be one position on that ship, mm-hmm. but there's a whole fleet of ships as well. And if you work well together as a team and you pull together and you respect each other as well, there's no reason why you can't help each other out. And like you just said, like we're all one position, right? We're all the same position now, and we're a network of friends, and it helps us, doesn't it, in a way, because we all stay in contact.
Absolutely. And I love that we've chatted over the years now about, hey, I'm out here, I've got to do this. What do you think of that? What would you do? And we back and forth over ideas or experiences, sharing stories, and we learn from each other Do you know what I mean? Without even being like, hey, let me teach you something. We chat about, I mean, usually when you're chatting things out, it's like, oh God, you won't believe what happened to me. We'll save that from the podcast. I get that that's probably the juicy stuff that people want to hear, but we're going to save that. That can be mysterious for you all. But you know, we learn lessons, or even if it's just knowing that you're not alone, and it's like, oh, it's happened to somebody else as well. I don't feel as bad. I don't feel as sorry for myself now, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So here we go. I've got some questions. I'm not gonna lie. I pulled these questions off the internet, Marty, and I just think it's really fun to run them by you, just for us to get to know you that little bit better. So, first of all, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned in now being a cruise director through your whole journey? It can be anything big or small. What would you say is one of the most poignant lessons that you've learned along the way?
The biggest lesson I've learned since being a cruise director?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a golden question, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's been 2 years now since I've been started covering and then got the position on a full time, and I'm luckily enough I've managed to work on a few different ships, 3 ships now as cruise director. I think making the step up from fun squad to cruise director, the biggest lesson is that although your cruise director and there's one of you, and there's only one of you on the ship, it doesn't mean that you're on your own. And although you might be the only person in that position, that's why you've got your team around you, and how much your team, like you need your team there, and you become a team together, how much that is reliant on the overall performance of like what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I get that.
If you get what I'm saying.
Oh, completely get that. And you know, it's funny because jumping on that point that you've made, one of my lessons, and I spoke about it the other week on a live video briefly, is about realizing that as that team, like you said, we are one position, but we're a part of something so much bigger. But the goal of all of the people that work on that ship is to give the guests a great time, like a memorable vacation, and making sure they have the best possible time. And I think a great ship, when you've got a team that everybody kind of has that realization that it's like, oh, we are all doing the same thing. Like nobody's better than anybody else just because they've got an opportunity. If there's only one job, you might be great for it. But if there's only one seat at that table, somebody's bum's got to be on that seat. It doesn't make them better than you. And ultimately, your goal is the same, right? Whether you're the captain, the hotel director, the cruise director, fun squad, whether you're working tidying people's cabins or in the restaurant serving people's food, ultimately we are all contributing to exactly the same end goal.
The reason that people come on the ship is to have a fantastic vacation and to forget about what they're doing on land. And it does really rely on, doesn't matter what department it is, to pull together. And I think now more than ever, as becoming cruise director now, you really do realize how big the operation is, right?
Yeah. And
how everybody pulls together. And that was eye-opening for me to see, because now I have much more contact with the other departments as well. And it's nice to be able to see what they do and to, for instance, maybe every now and then I might pop to the dining room and see them doing their dance and try and join in as well. And I'm like, wow, I can't do that dance. You're much better than me at that dance.
It's not easy. It's not easy, is it?
No, exactly. And you'd think, wow, like I would be able to do that. But but it's amazing to see how much effort everybody puts in together to pull together, right?
Yeah, definitely. If I could draw like an analogy of it, I'd say like we are all painting one picture. There's like one canvas and we've all got a paintbrush. And maybe I'm just painting the yellow bits. And then the maitre d' in the dining room is painting a little bit of purple. and the bar staff have got the blue, and we all have to paint the same picture. Now, if you've all got a different idea, or you think there should be more of your color on the painting, it gets really messy. But if you all tune into each other, you can make a masterpiece. Anyway,
and you really do rely on each other, and you can do projects together as well to make that extra impact, right?
Exactly. I think that's some of the best work, when there's collaboration and synergy, to use like a posh word, where you work together. Huge. Okay, another question. Wow, we got deep.
We got deep. That's what happens, right? We don't stop speaking. That's our jobs.
Yeah, that was deep. Okay, let's go for like a light-hearted one. Do you have a favorite part of the world that you've managed to visit? Where's been like one of your favorite places?
I always love going on the cruise where I would go to St. Martin and St. Thomas and San Juan. I loved that itinerary. And saying that, I've luckily enough to have been to Australia and Europe, and I still think St. Martin, San Juan, St. Thomas, that itinerary doing the Virgin Islands is amazing.
Special place, really special place. And the people over there, they love it when the cruise ships come in. They're so accommodating. St. Martin was a really special port for me. I'll agree with you there. I think you're allowed them to be your favorites. Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you? What would you say your favorite is?
Oh, man. Before I worked for Carnival, I worked for a different cruise line that gave me the opportunity to cruise Norway. And I cruised the Norwegian fjords. And looking back, that is some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever had the chance to see. Now, for our Carnival guests, a close second place to that would have to be Alaska. If I had to compare it to somewhere, I'd say
Alaska's amazing.
Alaska. I loved Alaska, and I would tell anybody, if there's anybody out there listening that's got Alaska on your bucket list, don't waste any more time. Go and see Alaska. You did Alaska, right?
So I'm feeling really bad that I didn't choose Alaska as my first choice now. But
you don't have to.
the difference being is that you're really into your photography, right? And your scenery, and that scenery doesn't get much better than that. Alaska was beautiful. I had an amazing time there, but me being from Britain and not having much time off the ship now, I love to get a tan and the sunshine. So that's why I picked St. Martin and
that makes sense.
someone and said some, because it's done some fantastic excursions there, but Alaska is amazing as well.
Yeah, I guess it's my inner photographer, like you say, that just looks at the pictures that I can take. But Alaska was incredible. In fact, if you've got anywhere on your bucket list, maybe it is St. Martin or St. Thomas, or perhaps it's Australia. Like, if you're listening to this podcast and you've got a list of places in the world that you want to see, don't waste any more time. If there's one thing that we've learned this year, is that you can't take anything for granted. Like, life is too short, and do it while you can. Right, Marty, next question. Oh, that's my house telephone ringing. That's awkward. Sorry, whoever's calling. I'm not going to answer because I'm busy.
It might be Carnival asking you to go back to work.
I don't know if they've got my home phone number. I'll call them back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my next question for you would be, if you could give advice to somebody listening that's like, I'd like to work on a cruise ship one day, perhaps do you know what I mean, just in high school or college, and they're thinking working on a cruise ship would be a good idea. What advice would you give them? Like, if they want to do well on a cruise ship, what should they do? How should they approach it?
First of all, 100% do it. It's been the best decision that I have ever made. And just from telling you my career path with Carnival just shows the progression and the opportunities that are available if you want them. You can just grow and grow, and you really do have such development opportunities there. It isn't what everybody, like, in terms of a lot of friends say, oh yeah, you just get to go to the beach every day. If you're signing up thinking I'm going to work on a cruise ship because I get to go to the beach every day and I just get to relax. You are there to work.
Yeah.
And that's a mistake that some people make. You do get time to relax as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely recommend doing it. And the best thing about it as well is you don't really need to know what career you want. You can just get on board. If there's a position that appeals to you, say, oh yeah, I quite like bartending, or yeah, I'm sporty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do sports stuff. Once you're on board, you then enter and you're part of the company. And then that's up to you where you go from there. It's up to you what path you choose.
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier, like John, our brand ambassador, started out in 1987 on the bar as a bartender. And now he's do you mean, speaking on behalf of the company.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah, you started out as a sports host thinking that you were going to be, you know, I mean, just doing the sporty stuff. Now you're a cruise director. I think there's a brilliant opportunity for growth. So I think that's good advice, solid advice for people. If you had to pick one thing, Marty, about your job, I'm going to like really put pressure on you. If you had to pick your favorite part about being a cruise director right here, right now, you're not marrying this, it's not forever, but just in this moment on this podcast, right here, right now, what would you say is your favorite part about being a cruise director?
I think that's easy.
Yeah.
It's just putting a smile on someone's face. It's the impact you can have and just the change you can make just by hosting an event and just seeing people get interact and take part in that event. And some people come on the cruise and they never dreamed of doing the best thing that I always hear is, say, for instance, after a Love and Marriage show or Hasbro the Game show, speaking to them after, they're like, I've never done anything like that and I never thought I would. And just making them superstars, making the guests feel like superstars as well. And I put it into context the other day because I've started playing sports now I'm home. And I used to think I was quite good at sports, but when I was back in the day, when I used to say I scored a goal, which is very rarely in football, I used to think, wow, that's an amazing feeling. And then being on stage and making people smile, I try and weigh it up against each other and there's no comparison. It's like scoring 20 goals in a game. It's so great to see people smile and laugh, right? What would you say your favorite is?
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth, if I'm honest with you. It's about being able to help people make memories, to be able to kind of just connect the dots. It was a realization that I had not too long ago, really. I kind of looked at my job and what I'm doing and what other people were doing in the job. And, always trying to make myself better or to grow. And I looked at what the job really was as far as our relationship with the guest goes. And we're like the glue. I like to think of us as like the glue for people's experience and their memories. Like maybe we're hosting a trivia party in the atrium lobby, right? What people are doing there, the guests are doing there, is they're having a great time and you're just kind of sticking the bits of their vacation together. And just being able to do that, I think is so incredible. And the amount of people that kind of stay in touch after a cruise and like, oh my God, we'll never forget you when you did this, that, or the other. But I realized it's not about us. What's really special there isn't that somebody remembers you. What's special there is that somebody had such an incredible time that they wanted to stay in touch, that they've got a memory that they're going to hold with them for years to come. I think that is incredible. And I feel so lucky that we get to do that. 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
100%. Okay. I'm going to start rounding things up. Believe it or not, and we do this all the time, it's like it's been 50 minutes. Can you believe that?
How has that gone by?
We've been chatting for like close to an hour, so I'm going to round things up really quickly with some quick fire questions to you. So, Marty, do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I would say in America, it would be Friends in Low Places, Garth Brooks.
Uh-huh. Good choice.
A very bad rendition.
Doesn't have to be good. It's karaoke. It just has to be karaoke.
But if it's on country night and I'm wearing a cowboy hat, it goes.
Yeehaw, indeed. Okay, I don't know how tech savvy you are, but what apps are you using right now? Do you have a favorite app? What is your most frequently used app on your phone right now?
I am terrible at apps, but I would probably say Duolingo.
Duolingo?
I've been trying to use that. Or simply piano. I've been trying to learn the piano while I've been off as well.
Man, you are doing the full lockdown properly, learning a language and an instrument. That is brilliant.
Trying.
I can't ask you to pick a favorite ship because it really wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to make out that any ship is better than the others because they're all great. But is there a ship that you've got the best memories on? Because this isn't about the ship being better. It's just about maybe you had a really special experience or a cruise that you'll never forget. Is there a ship that holds really strong memories for you?
There's quite a few, like you said, and it would be impossible to say the absolute number one. But I'm going to go with the Carnival Conquest because that was the first ship I got the chance and the opportunity to cover as cruise director.
Brilliant, man, brilliant. And now, if people that are listening have made it this far and they're like, that Marty guy sounds great, I want to connect with him. Where can people find you on like social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You just need to do Cruise Director Marty, all in one word, and you'll be able to find the Facebook page. And I'll keep you updated when I have news of a return.
Yeah, that's a tough one right now. None of us know. We don't have any clue of when we're likely to be going back or what's happening. You'll hear it from Carnival first, folks. So if you want to know when the cruises are going to start, just stay in touch with Carnival either on their Facebook page or John Heald, our brand ambassador. And if you want to stay in touch with Marty, then you need to type in Cruise Director Marty, Marty, because he's awesome. So give him a shout out on Facebook and all of that good stuff. Marty, can I say a huge thank you, like a sincere thank you for being a part of the podcast?
Well, thank you for having me, Lee. I really appreciate your time.
I know it's a really weird format because we're recording this anticipating people are going to listen, but we don't have an audience or there's any sort of response. So I'm going to do my best to make you feel the love right now. Marty, this is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. And we'll catch up. We'll catch up after this, no doubt. But thank you to all of you that are listening. This was another episode of Tea with Lee. Well, there we have it, catching up with Marty Andrews, a fantastic cruise director, as I say, most recently on the Pride, but he's been with the company for so long. What a great guy, right? And it goes to show that you don't have to have a set path. He started out with Carnival, wanting to be a sports host, and now he's one of a very exclusive group of Carnival family members on board. A cruise director, absolutely smashing it out the park, cruise after cruise. Until the next episode, I hope you're safe, I hope you're well, and as always, stay up late, have fun, and make memories. Much love to you.
It's time for tea. It's time for tea with Lee. It's time for tea. Time for tea with Lee.